My healthy habits.
Surprise is the only
We're now an
emotion that
expression of
requires an
self-love.
interpretation.
Wherever we go,
It's a real
we go
choice.
together.
We can change
Is
that.
what life can do.
Thank you. We don't choose the childhood that we are giving, but we can choose what to do with it. In second grade, I was sitting in my classroom, watching my teacher solving a math problem on the board. After she got done, she turned around and said, "Does everybody see how I got to the solution?" I looked and I had noticed an error in it. So I raised my hand, and my teacher said, "Yes, Hebah?" I said, "Miss, there is a mistake in the solution." She said, "Oh, really? Why don't you come up and correct it?" So I walked up to the board and began to explain the error and how to correct it. When I finished, I looked at my teacher with a big smile on my face, waiting for her response, thinking what a 7-year-old would think. She's going to be so proud of me. I'll finally be cool. My teacher stood up and started walking toward me, and with all her might, slapped me across the face and said, "How dare you dishonor your teacher? Go back to the end of the class and stand on one foot for the rest of the day." I was born in Saudi Arabia, which is, for those of you who are not familiar with that country, a very strict society. They compel you to follow the rules, and if you don't follow them, they will discipline you very harshly. Saudi Arabia has one of the most closed-off society in the world, which makes it very hard for differing opinion to live. There are many inequality living over there, but none as big as what women face. They have no voice, no opinion, and no freedom. They are taught to be homemakers and housewives. After that long day of standing on one foot, humiliation wasn't the only thing I walked away with that day. Shattered dreams and optimism for the future flew away. So I chose to let my outrage fuel me to continue pursuing my dreams of becoming a doctor or an engineer and not to give up. At the age of 18, reality began to set in, and I was starting to lose hope. Destiny intervened, and I met an American man. We fell in love, got married, and I came to live with him here in the US. I thought, this is it. I can finally live the American dream. All men and women are created equal. But inequalities aren't always so apparent. I attended Oregon State University and majored in electrical and computer engineering, which is known to be a male-dominated field. I'll never forget one of my first electrical and engineering classes. I walked in to this huge auditorium, and within a minute, the professor came up to me and said, "Are you in the right class? This is an electrical and engineering course." I looked at him and said, "Yes, I'm aware, thank you." He asked, "Can I see your schedule?" So I handed it to him. He looked at it, then said, "Okay," as if he was surprised to see a woman in electrical and engineering classes. We live in a system that we created for ourselves to achieve the success that we desire from our hard work. However, systems aren't the only thing that govern us. While some might think now, more than any point in history, we have bridged the gap of inequalities for women. I agree, but there is a lot more to be done. Women, you have been brave. It is obvious the movement has started. So many have sacrificed to pave the way for our voices to be heard. Women endured lower wages, discouragement, and harassment along the way. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields, which is also known as STEM, are the most important and fastest growing sectors in our modern economy. Yet, women are the most underserved. STEM fields continue to be male-dominated, which in a part led us to a shortfall of 2.4 million STEM jobs last year. 2.4 million unfulfilled STEM jobs in the United States. If we want to fill those jobs and have more young women in STEM careers, it's our responsibility to encourage and inspire them. We should start with our kids, the next generation, at a young age. Young is the key. Men, we need your help. You have a very important role to fulfill. I call on you to support and encourage women in your life and at your job. A study done by Microsoft showed that most girls become engaged with STEM subject by the age of 11 before their interest began to dissolve by the age of 15. However, another study showed that most girls who are encouraged by their parents, teacher, and role models are 81% more likely to end up in a STEM career. Once men and women work together, this will lead us to a social advancement and a brighter future. Coming from a society where it segregated men and women, and living here in a society where men and women are encouraged to work together, believe me when I say, I can tell the difference. Young women in STEM fields earn up to 1/3 less than men. If we train and support women in STEM careers and get them an equal pay, that would increase the gross domestic product, GDP, by minimum of 5%. 2017 GDP for the US was $19.4 trillion. And what is the 5% of that? Please allow me to do the math. It is approximately $1 trillion, which we could add directly to our GDP. We live in a world that we have designed. We created the rules for it, so we can change it. We can redesign it. Each one of us is like this puzzle piece, unique and different from any other piece. As you can see, each piece has its own size, shape, and color. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It is still a piece of the puzzle. Without this piece, the picture will never be completed. So let us connect all the puzzle pieces together. Thank you.